Welcome back to the channel. I know that I haven't really been posting consistently lately, just, life, I guess. Being a mom is hard. Being a mom is hard and it's taxing, and I feel like people don't like it when we say that because it's like, well, you chose to have them, or you're in this, so now you gotta, and I get it. One, not everybody chooses, okay? Sometimes you don't get the option to choose. Not that anybody needs to know why or, whatever, but that's not always the case for every parent out there. There's also just because something is hard doesn't make it any less hard. I know that being a parent is hard. I know that being single moms is really difficult. It doesn't fucking make it easier just because I know it's harder. It's still really hard. But anyways, on to the books. So reading update from last Sunday, the 9th or something, up until today, which is the 17th, I believe, Monday. I finished Sunbringer. Sorry, I was looking for the book, but I don't have it with me right now. I finished Sunbringer, and I got approved for the arc of Faithbreaker. Okay, so Sunbringer was definitely giving middle book syndrome. It was really dragging out. I was having a hard time finishing it. But knowing that I have Faithbreaker on deck and I can I can read it whenever I want, really helped to motivate me a little bit more when it came to Sunbringer. It's one of those books, it's one of those series where I really do think you should have all 3 books if you want to read it. I think that if you read book 2 and then you're waiting until April, I think it is, when book 3 comes out, you could lose interest. You could very well decide it's not a series you want to finish. Because book 2 dragged. It did the typical epic fantasy thing where all your main characters are split up, and you think they're gonna meet back up again, and maybe 1 or 2 of them do, but at the end of the story, it still feels like they're all kind of in different corners. And me personally, I don't mind that. I think it's typical of an epic fantasy. I do need them to start making their way towards each other. But thankfully, Sunbringer ended on a really good note. The middle of that book dragged so bad, but the last 30%-ish, I want to say, it really picked up. It picked up and it rejuvenated or re-inspired. That's not the right word. It made me interested in the story again. I'm at a loss for words today, as you can tell. So I'm really glad that I pushed through book 2, and I'm really excited to start Faithbreaker, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it because I think that it's going to be really good. Based on how book 2 ended, I think that book 3 is going to be really, really good, and I'm excited. So I will let you guys know as soon as I'm done reading that one. I'm going to start blabbing about it per usual Ange. The other book I was reading last week was When the Moon Hatched. I'm gonna keep it short because I really don't have anything nice to say about the book. It really feels like every single fucking trope you could think of is shoved into this book, and then they made it 700 pages long to fit all of that, when in reality you don't need it all. And I couldn't stand the main character. Couldn't stand her. For me personally, I felt like every fantasy book I've read, popular one lately, is shoved into When the Moon Hatched. But yeah, I ended up DNFing it at 300 pages because I just couldn't handle it. Sarah Parker built this beautiful, mystical, magical world. It was a beautiful world. I didn't get to experience the rest of it because I didn't finish the book, but it was a beautiful world when I saw of it. And then she inserted this character who just didn't fit. I was really annoyed. Every other word out of the FMC's mouth was cock and fuck, and I couldn't. The world that you built, that doesn't fit. Not that she couldn't curse, let's say, but the consistent vulgar language, it was too much, and it made me really dislike the book. And it sucks because I liked the world building. I didn't really understand the magic, but I mean I only got halfway through, so I don't know if we were going to get more information on the magic. But I just couldn't get into the story. I couldn't connect to anything in the story, so I just put it down. So yeah, that one ended there. And then I'm currently working on Mistborn. I am about 50% of the way through, a little bit more maybe. I definitely want to finish this book. It's really, really good. It's amazing. You have Vin. She's one of the main characters because there's Vin and then there's Kelsier. And Vin is a 16-year-old girl who discovers her abilities, right? Her powers, the magic system and all of that. she meets Kelsier, and Kelsier is much, much older. Like, him and the rest of the crew are like in their 30s. And I think there's one guy who's like even older than that. But it's not icky. It's not icky, which thank God. It's never icky at any point so far. But they're basically teaching her about the magic system while also trying to lead this rebellion. And they're, you know, they're asking Vin for help in the rebellion. And I love the found family. It's not like super well developed yet, but I really enjoy how it started and where it's been going. It's a genuinely heartwarming found family for me in Mistborn. I don't know why, but I just am like, I'm like, oh, all the time when they're interacting with Vin. It's whatever. Probably because it's like giving little sister vibe. But my favorite aspect of Mistborn so far, and I really hope that it continues, I am learning about the magic system as Vin is learning about the magic system. It's not like one of those books where you get the magic system in the beginning. This is how the magic works. Like, they somehow work it in there, right? And in the first 3 chapters or so, you know what the magic system is, and you just have to remember it as you continue to read. And like, you know, they'll drop like development here and there, like new things that happen or like new information that they want you to know. No, at the same time that she is learning how to push and pull, I am learning what push and pull is. At the same time that she is learning internal versus external metals, I am learning what the fuck internal and external means to them when it comes to metals. Like, it's so immersive. It is so immersive, and I'm just reading it. I don't have the audiobook going too, and I'm in love with it. I'm obsessed with it. And I love the little blurbs at the beginning of every chapter. And I've gotten to the point where you discover where those blurbs are coming from, and I love it. It's giving me a completely new perception of a character that I kind of was like, I had already kind of set my mind on how I felt about them, but then learning that these blurbs belong to them, I'm like, oh, wait, is there more to this person than I thought? It is fantastic. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. It does read pretty easily. Like, I'm able to read it pretty quickly. I don't feel like he uses like really big words or anything like that. It's just the time. It's just the time to read a 534-page book. But I'm thoroughly loving this, and I would really like to finish it in the next day or two. I just would like to finish it in the next day or two. If I take too long to read something, it'll put me in a slump, and then I can't read anything, because that's what slumps are for me. No books until I get out the slump. And it's really frustrating. But for this week, I have a couple of books for this week, but I'm not pushing myself to like try to finish them this week. So I have Sinful by an indie author, Marie Lau. I really hope I say her last name correctly. I fucking love this woman so much. She wrote Symphony of Fallen Stars. There we go. I always want to put an A or a the before symphony, but there is none. So Symphony of the Fallen Stars is by Marie, and it is a beautiful book. It came to me at a point where I hadn't been reading for a long time, and I had kind of like lost the desire or like the love for reading. And I was scrolling on Instagram, and it just popped up in the ad. I don't even remember what the ad was, but I remember the book, the cover. I was like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. So I set a reminder on my phone, because it wasn't out yet, for when the book came out. And then I downloaded it and I read it on Kindle, my iPad. It was a beautiful story. I absolutely loved it. It's like a Hades and Persephone's retelling, but different. And I just adored the story. I loved the characters so much. To me, it was a true romantasy. A book where the romance and the fantasy, like they just go together so well. And her writing, of course, created that. So when I found out she was coming out with like other books, I like followed her on everything. So now I stalk her. Yeah, I definitely stalk this indie author to see like when she's gonna drop hints about the next book in that series with Symphony of the Fallen Stars, and like cover like art and stuff like that. But she wrote Sinful, which just came out on February 11th, and I ordered a paper copy. I also ordered it like for my Kindle, my iPad, but then I was like, I want the physical copy because I want to tab it. So I really would love to get to this in the next couple of days. And I think this will be my next book. Like once I finish Mistborn, I'm going to jump back into this because I started it. I got like 30-ish pages in. I'm going to finish this, and I can't wait to tell you guys how much I love it. There's just some books that I know I'm going to love. I know it. I don't know what it is. And that is also a romantasy. So if you're looking for some romantasies. And then I have a book club book. So this is my club with Sam, and it's the Sci-Fi for Newbies Sci-Fi Newbie. There we go. And we're reading Blood Trials. And this was gifted to me by a friend of mine. So I just don't know when I want to start this. Like, I know I definitely want to finish those two first, Mistborn and Sinful. But I don't know when I want to start this, because I think that Sam and I are going to be reading The Dragon Republic this week too. Later this week though, like towards the end of the week, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to start The Dragon Republic. So I think I definitely want to get this done before The Dragon Republic. So we have this week of February, right? The week of the 17th. And then we have another week, which is like the last week of February. I keep thinking that this is the last week of February. I don't know why. So I still have next week or another week to like finish a lot of the stuff that I wanted to start this month. But I definitely did get like sidetracked. I was supposed to be finishing series and I'm over here starting new ones. But I'm hoping to get to this week. I just don't know when I'll start it. And this is a maybe. I have to reach out to Sheldina because we're supposed to be buddy reading Where Sleeping Girls Lie. This is the book that we picked to buddy read for February, but I pushed it back. But now I don't remember to like when I pushed it back. To when I pushed it back. How far I pushed it back. Wow, that was really hard. I'm gonna get my coffee now. Yeah, that was a struggle. That's literally how my life has been going over the past like six-ish weeks. It just feels like I'm constantly stuttering through life. Anyways, so yeah, I gotta reach out to her to see when she wants to start this. Hopefully next week, so I can finish all this other stuff. But if not, then it'll be this week, and I'll probably just swap this out with the Blood Trials. Oh, the bookmark came out. That scared me. I'll just swap these two depending on what she says to me. So those are the books I want to read this week. The ones I read from last week. I feel like there's something else I finished last week, but I don't. Morning Glory Milk. I read Morning Glory Milk Farm. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Somebody was talking about it and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Why? I don't know, because it's literally nothing to do with anything I'm reading right now or like to read right now. But I went and I got it on Kindle Unlimited and I read it on my iPad and it was interesting. That was an interesting ass book. Interesting AF. There we go. That was it was something. And I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the story. I liked the FMC and the MMC. I actually really liked them. It's just when they started doing a dang, I was like, oh, that was the one part that I was like, I can't for this part. But it wasn't like long, like it wasn't drawn out and it wasn't like overdone either, because some authors will overdo spice and it makes it even more cringy than it already kind of is for me. But no, that spice was like actually pretty good. I just couldn't get over a certain aspect of it, but I really liked the book. I thought it was fun. It was a nice short read. It was a palate cleanser. Not at all what I planned to read as my palate cleanser, but yeah, that's fine. That was an interesting one. I don't know what inspired me to read it. I really don't. Anyways, let me get my bookmark. But see, that's what I mean. So audiobooks, I don't be counting audiobooks when I talk about like my weekly TBR sometimes, because like those, I tend to read audiobooks while I'm doing other stuff that doesn't require too much brain power. So sometimes I'd be forgetting that I read a book and I'm new to audiobooks. So I don't be remembering that I did it. But I got The Roommate Risk from Libro FM and I want to listen to that. I would like to listen to that this week. Like, I have a lot of housekeeping stuff for work I want to do this week. So I want to listen to it while I do that and while I clean. And I'm going to cook today. I'm going to make a green papaya salad today. We went to a Thai restaurant this weekend, my best friend and I, and we ordered a green papaya salad. Oh my God, it was actually so good. With the scallion paste. There were no sounds in the car besides chewing and swallowing. That's all that you could hear in the car because we ate in the car. It was really good. So I went to the Asian market and I got a green papaya and like all the other stuff I need. And I'm gonna try to make that salad today. So I'll probably be reading The Roommate Risk while I cook and while I clean. And then I'll save Mistborn for later on. This is the first time I'm recording a YouTube video and my daughter is here. She's napping. And I was like, I need to record this video because I don't know what work is gonna be like tomorrow. I took today off. I don't know what it's gonna be like tomorrow, so I don't wanna try to slate recording an entire video into my workday when I'm already really busy. So I was like, I'm gonna do it when she naps. And it's hard because what I wanted to do when she was napping was clean and start cooking, but instead I'm recording this video which is fine. It's not like it's the end of the world or anything, but this is what I mean when like being a parent is just really taxing and it stretches you so thin. It's really interesting trying to be, just being a parent in general is really interesting to me. And then also trying to be a parent and balance other things, like balance work and balance like household stuff and balance going to the grocery store. That was really hard today. And then balancing like wanting to create content as a parent, a single parent. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. It's hard as fuck is what I'm trying to say. So to every parent out there who is doing the thing, you got it. And I stand behind you and I will hype you up until the end of time because it's fucking hard. It's hard, but it's worth it. I mean, it is. In the moment, I don't know if I always want to say that, but it definitely is worth it. So anyways, I'm done talking. I'm done. English. I am done blabbering and rambling at you. Those are the books I want to read this week, the books I read last week. I will see you guys next time for the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting and coming back. There are some of you that I see every single video and I appreciate it so much. So actually much. I appreciate it and I wish I could give you a hug, but I have like one bestie who's international, which is just like, ugh, I love that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys and the support. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you for the next one. Happy reading.